For me, it's basically an extension of my family. I've been involved that long. All the friendships I've made have mostly been involved around surf lifesaving.
Surf lifesaving, for me, I feel like it's you're a part of the community. You're kind of looking outwardly, which I think makes a better community.
In my 35 years of patrolling, it was probably the most hectic one that I've ever been involved with, where we literally had the whole patrol involved in some capacity. Started out very innocuous. We just thought it was 2 or 3 people that had got sucked off the bank in the middle of the flags. It was low tide, so it was going to be too hard to drag the IRB out over the bank. The jet ski was already down the beach performing a rescue, so I was probably the quickest board paddler out of the team, so myself and one of the other guys about to head out. Then I seconded a surfer that I knew from the club who's a former champion board paddler. Him and I both paddled down to make the initial rescue. Got there, we had 4 people, got them onto Levi's board, and then I looked over to find another guy with just his face out of the water being held up and kept afloat by a member of the public. Straight away, obviously, he was a priority, so I went to his assistance, got him on the board. I had to basically treat it as an unconscious patient pickup, so flipped the board over, got him on the board, and then started waving for assistance, and it basically went pear-shaped from there.
It happened so quickly. It was just crazy. It was pretty daunting. I was on the beach trying to direct it a little bit, but these guys had gone out, and you couldn't actually tell, because of the surf and how quick it was running and the size of the waves. You couldn't actually tell how many people were in need. As
we were tied up out there with 5 particular swimmers, more people got swept off the bank. We had a huge swell running. It's about 8-foot sets and some bigger ones coming through, so there was a lot of water movement.
We launched the IRB. Another couple of people came down from like the patrolling members, but they weren't actually on that patrol. They actually came down, grabbed the board. One of the guys came out with me in the IRB, and so we got out there, and you kind of, like you just pick up the closest person you can pick up.
While we actually had 14 people in that main rescue happening at the beach, we have obviously a permanent rip here in the corner, so there was literally no one left on the beach other than a couple of people in the middle of the flags to assist with first aid as we brought them in. And another member of the public got stuck in the rip, and then there was no one left on the beach to rescue him. So it took one of their members who's been in the club for a long time, who happened to be here, and he had to run into the shed, grab a board and go out there and keep that lady afloat until we could get more help out there with the boat to bring him in, because the current was so strong.
I mean, it was true testimony to the team and the other guys that weren't on patrol. They were fantastic, and we wouldn't have been able to do it without them.
When we got out there and we realised that we had everyone contained, we didn't have any major follow-up issues as far as a resus or anything like that, although the guy that I did get, I ended up paddling him straight to the beach for medical assistance. He did come good on the way in, and we cracked a hell of a ride, so he's got that to remember for the rest of his life, catching a 8-footer on a rescue board through the middle of the flags. But yeah, it was a good outcome, and no one lost their life, which was the main thing.
I feel really proud, to be honest. I feel proud that I was actually able to be there and be a part of it.
It's great that members now have the opportunity to be recognised for efforts like that. Like, you don't do it for the recognition, but it is nice to know that you get a pat on the back, because oftentimes you do a rescue and they just walk off. I think, to me, heroes are paramedics and firefighters that put their lives on the line and go into fires and things like that. Like, I've just done what I've been trained for and do what I love, and the fact that I can go home and know that I've been able to let someone else go home because of the skill set that I've been gifted through surf lifesaving, that's enough for me.
I'm just glad that everyone's safe and we got out of there alive.